So today I thought it's going to be a different podcast I've been recording. This is actually my fifth take because I'm trying to make sure. Well, let me tell you what's going in my head. And firstly, thank you for those who joined my journey. Like, let's make it a little bit less corporately sound. Thank you for joining and following me, and even like subscribing me to my Substack, following me from Spotify to YouTube. Man, like seriously, like nobody has free time to give, and you guys are literally giving me the most valuable thing you can. It's not your money, it's your time. And I really, really, really am appreciative of those. My last episode with Jeff, let me pull it up. Sorry, it's not in front of me, but turned out that episode was amazing. It had around, hold on, holy 4,000, actually 4,500 people listened in to that podcast. It's amazing. 30 days went up to 8,308. Wow. Geez, that is so amazing. And I guess I just want to start off first with the reality. Which is thank you so much. I can't be thankful enough. This is certainly the best thing anybody can ask for, is giving me your time listening to my podcast and joining this. And so today's podcast or today's topic of discussion is literally one thing, which is on everyone's mind. Have been really quiet about it. I have spoken about it a little bit. Um, but it's time. I've hit my 25th episode. I've been very consistent, except this week's episode. I have a great lineup of guests coming in starting next week. I have a recording tomorrow as well, actually, the day after tomorrow. So everything will be amazing. So, first, I want to talk about my podcast. Where is it headed? What am I heading at? Secondly, I want to talk about a few things I'm doing. So, I'm going to advertise myself a little bit. I'm going to be very blunt with it because I don't want you to be disappointed. B, be like, oh my God, better to show, how about this? Better to show someone else's ad is better to advertise myself. How about that one? And when I look over here, because I'm looking at myself in Zoom, if I look up here, it's just a bright light because of the light up there, just FYI. So if that's that, and the last part of the thing I want to talk about is biggest subject everywhere. We'll be looking at it is AI. I have some hot takes on AI. I have some hot takes on certain sectors and certain applications. I'll make sure I don't break the third wall or fourth wall, whatever you guys call it, but I want to be really honest, is this show is going to change the way it is. And I'll tell you how. Sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of that lime twist there. This lemon lime twist by Zevia. The taste of stevia has gone better. Before it used to be very bad. Um, so where am I headed with this show? Look, guys, this show started as a platform for what I wanted to be and if I go back to my original founding documentations, which is not really founding documentation, it's just an about me page. So my statement was very super duper simple. Jeez, I lost zoom in there. Number one is crafting great products and becoming strong product leaders. So that's what I wanted to talk about. That was my mission statement, not that one. Basically, it was uncover authentic tech conversation and exploring raw narratives, insightful journey, and real challenges in the world of startup product design and yada yada yada. And I'll be really honest, I'm a very strongest critique on my own work. I think I've been doing okay job. I think I could do better. Um, First. Secondly, yeah, I don't think so. I have really truly tapped into the raw narrative. I think all my guests who've been here, they've been really grateful of their time, and I've given some really valuable feedback. Um, so that's been great. So I'm trying to like it has been very insightful conversation. I actually would say I did start off a little bit with raw narrative. So I start going there. So I think I'm doing an okay job when I look at it. I had some last few guests. They've been really raw, honest, cutthroat, real talk in a sense. and I want to get there more. So it's as a host, it takes a lot of responsibility. How do you narrate? How do you get into that pathway, if that makes sense? So that's for one. So I think I need to do a better job. Secondly, insightful journeys. I think over that one, I've been doing great. I think there's always room to improve, and I think I have to do more over there. The real challenges in startup, haven't tapped fully into that case yet, but I will. When I will make sure. But this has been the past. The reason I started this podcast is because I'll be honest, we have plenty of podcasts out there. They're doing a great job. All of them have their own unique aspect and they're good. I, in my opinion, the genuine being a really, really genuine person is something that I really miss, meaning I don't feel that a lot of other podcasts have that. And yes, that's my hot take. And that's what I will say. I think the only few ones I can name is the All In podcast that inspired me to move into this space. There's also one, Your First Million, by Sean Puri. And geez, getting the other founder's name. Sorry, don't kill me for that. Um, and then there's one more I'm forgetting the name of. Yeah, Joe Rogan Experience. These are the ones which I would say they're honest, raw, opinionated, but reality, like set into reality. And most of the podcasters out there, they're doing great and they're all corporate verbiage. And I think that should not be there. And I don't want this podcast to be the one. If that means some guests might not come because the content we are creating, that's fine. It's free will. Nobody's putting forcing. But all my guests who have been here, they actually, I'm really, really, really plenty, really, or as much as I could be thankful to them because they supported this ideology of like, we need to have honest, raw conversation without being, disrespectful or something, whether it's in product management, leadership, startups. I believe more startups are more vocal versus someone who is very professional, and I totally understand that because it's corporate world. You have to be respectful, but should not remove the genuineness. And what I mean by that is when we say, for example, when we say we want to find a good product leader, what does that mean? And people have these are my frameworks. Some people are like, I have my spin. Everybody have their secret sauce. In reality, no, that doesn't work. Okay, that really doesn't work. The reality is in a corporate landscape, there's politics. Let's be honest about this. And nothing negative with politics. Politics, we always negatively put it. Politics is not negative. Is basically, there is power dynamics at work, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But why are we afraid talking about this? I've seen some leaderships who have come on other podcasts and they're like, I became a leader that way and this way, like as if they were not to do that, they would not. No, I think there's a lot of time, place, and a lot of luck that matters. Let's be really real about that as well. There are other people, and when I say other people, I don't want to take names because this is not the podcast for that. This podcast is meant to be really honest, and I want to be honest that I think if what I'm trying to say, if I'm trying to say anything at this point, is this podcast will go really hard on raw narrative. That means all the guests who are gonna come on the platform will be have a honest, respectful conversation. I will try to deviate from as much as corporate verbiage or, a lot of higher level context, or even if that means, if you've seen Wolf of Wall Street, there's a thing that Matthew McConaughey says, Fugazi Fugazi. No, we don't need that. We need concrete facts and concrete stuff that people can learn from. Okay. And I will strive for that. That's why I wanted to make sure that when I hit my 25th episode, I saw a trend. And I think I owe it up to the people who listen. I owe it up where I work. I owe it up to anyone. My opinions on the show are mine. and they're not representative of anything. All the guests who come to the platform is their opinion. Our job, especially this podcast job, is to do one thing: have real tech conversations where you can understand raw narratives. What does raw narrative mean? Meaning, if there was a startup that was successful, let's talk about that. How did you really become successful? If they failed, let's talk about exactly what they did. And so we make sure other people don't do it. Let's have a learning session. I always believe is the value should come out when, like, when you done listening to this podcast, you should be like, oh, this is the value I got. Now, whether it took you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, because the podcast becomes longer, and I honestly try to make it shorter. Um, but I will do that. I'll make sure I got some feedback. People were like, hey, make it like 30 minutes. So I'm getting to that pace, 30 minutes, it's pretty good discussion. Sometimes you need longer. That's okay. Maybe I want to go into 10-minute spot, really in there, out there, done, that would be really good. So that's the future of the podcast, as I would say, relaxed, heavily doubling, tripling down on real conversations where we can discuss our successes and failures very openly so all of us as a tech community can learn. May that be even layoffs. There are still a lot of layoffs happening, but the trend is declining. There are plenty of people I know. Actually, I know 140 people who are actually laid off right now within my circle. So, yeah. So we need to have that conversation. And how do you get to the next level? How do you get that job? Because let's be honest, that's really important. Same for startups. I will do make sure I cover that as well. And it has to be insightful in terms of actionable. That's really important. And lastly, before it was a world of startups, product management, design, venture capital, I'm going to broaden up the horizon. Everything will go on except politics, religion is something I will never touch in this podcast because those are the topics of divide and that doesn't resonate with my personality. I believe in oneness. I believe in coming together. I believe in fusion, and that's what I stand for. So I want to be honest, everything else under the sun could be covered in this, but mostly heavily on the tech sector because that's where I am. So, in a sense, in a tech way, you can talk startups, marketing, design, challenges in corporate world, how do you get a corporate job, how you jump from startup to corporate, and there's a lot of stuff to do. So that's one. So I'm super excited where this is headed. I'm having a conversation next week that you will really love, I hopefully believe. And that's that. Now, let's go to the second topic that I have. Yes, I have started a startup or working on one. It's a stealth AI startup. It's heavily backed where my experience has been in SaaS, MarTech, data, but it's not specifically in that location of like when you think of MarTech, ad tech, no, it's not there, but it has to do a lot with data space, SaaS product, and B2B. You'll be really excited what this will be. Of course, I'm not telling enough because I'm still in the early stages, but soon as I get there to launch, you'll be the first one to know, literally, you as a person who's watching or maybe listening. I'm looking at the camera right now. If someone who's listening to us, you will be next to know, or the first one to know. And so, yes, it'll be announced on the podcast as well. And I would love for your support to be there. On the other side as well, I have also started doing consultancy. It's under Imran's Craft. Basically, go to shakeimran.com. You can see all my work over there. The reality is when you do a startup, you also need to support yourself. And how do you do that? So yes, I'm also going to do consultancy on the side. You're welcome to engage me in product design. So I do product designing, like literally Figma, I really use that, build prototypes, do user research. I've been doing it for the last 15 years, really heavily built products that have gone to 6 million to users or bringing revenue as much as $100 million. So yes, that has been my biggest pedigree. Also, product management. If you need someone to be there for you as a product manager for time being, happy to be that person and would greatly appreciate that. So yes, you can book a call. So if you go to my site right now, shakeimran.com, that is SHEIKH imran.com. You can actually see a scheduled call and you're welcome to have an intro call with me and I can walk you through what I've worked on. So happy to do that. I actually got a contract recently, so I don't have that much capacity. So I'm only open to maximum 2 projects. But yeah, it's definitely fun and doable. So that's the second part. Now, let's come to the meaty section, AI. I have been seeing a lot of news recently. Today, actually, when I'm recording this, today is June 18th or 19th, sorry. Hmm. So I've seen startups raising crazy amount of like dollars. I came across this company. They were like, uh, raised $60 million, Gen Spark. They're trying to compete with Perplexity, dot AI. And that's just interesting. Perplexity also raised a bunch of round. I have this newsletter that comes to me. I can tell you, I'm just surprised when I look at that plenty of experience when it comes to it. It's just amazing. So sorry, trying to find my newsletter at this point. Can't. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, geez, there are so many companies that are getting funded. Yeah, there are two AI startups that just raised seed. Oh no, that's old. This is from today. Yeah. So seed rounds for tech AI startups have gone up to as much as $100 million with Mistral. We all know that. Well, that was a different one, but this is a seed round. GenSpark raised $60 million. Another company, $30 million. And I'm like, oh my God. I think there's a lot of search engine battle that I will see. Do I think Perplexity is the answer for the new search engine? No. Does it has what it takes to get there? Maybe. Does it has the support from the investors, community, and so forth? Yeah. I actually spoke to 30, 40 people outside of the Bay Area and like, hey, do you know Perplexity.ai? And interestingly, there was only one person. No, I'm not poo-pooing Perplexity.ai. I just use it. I'm just saying there's a lot of room to grow. And with these evaluation, I think let's see how it goes. Not so much of that I'm giving away. Here's my thoughts on it. The seed rounds have gone bigger. We are still seeing a lot of funding in the seed space. Specifically, if you're an AI company, then trust me, you will do fine. But your talent will be really important. Either you have a great talent and a product that's coming out, and if you have some customer validation, you know what? You are sitting on a holy grail of raising good amount of money. Here's one thing I will recommend to all AI startups. Look, when you look at raising money, don't look at like, oh, higher valuation. Yeah, higher valuation on paper will make you look rich, make your company look bigger and serious and great backing. In the end of the day, even if this applies for me, we all want to have customers. We're building a business. It's business. And I'm really emphasizing it this way because in the end of the day, that's what we do is build a good business. It works out, you grow or you sell it to someone. That's how it works. And so to all these AI companies raising amazing amount of money, make sure you don't go too far, forgetting that you are in the business where you're actually supposed to have a proper customer base just versus raising money. Yes, there are companies like Facebook that existed where you could just be like, we don't have a business model. Google didn't have a business model. OpenAI was a research and they didn't have a business model until they recently did ChatGPT. And now people are like, oh wow, we're open to this. Great, this works. So what I'm trying to say is like make sure you're always focusing on the business part, make sure you're always focused on the aspect of raise good money, but have a validation of your business. But yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of these, like even Series A rounds have gone up to $100 million. Series B round has even gone larger and larger, and it's just amazing. However, they are on the lower side, some AI startups, which are like 5 million. I'm looking at pre-seeds. So back when I was doing my startup in 2016, pre-seed was I think pre-seed was 700K, sorry, 700K to a million. Depends how much validation you have with your product. And so I was raising $3 million of seed round, and that was that. But now seed rounds are like 10, 5, 6, 20, 30. 11 pre-seed rounds are like going off the roof. And with the economy the way it's going, I think every startup that's in AI will figure out a way to make money and also figure out to raise money if the team is great and everything. However, if you're a non-AI startup, let me tell you this, it's not looking rosy. Because all the investors are figuring out AI. AI is the next space, and AI will disrupt a lot of industries. AI will disrupt a lot of legacy companies. Either that or AI will just completely decimate, like, like literally just kill all the legacy companies. I truly believe that. Because you see, the reality is with AI, the cost of production is coming down. Where it took a team to build all these data analysis and everything, today you have it on your almost fingertips. You hire a great designer, right? You have a great AI co-founder or engineer, and then you have ChatGPT, and you must have knowledge in that space, and you use AI agents. You tell me, why is it difficult for you to build a startup now? It's relatively low cost. I think the high cost comes to, the processing of AI, like GCP and, GPTs, you got to pay a lot of that as well. But in the longer term, like when I look at 5, 10 years horizon, this cost will drive down. They will figure out a way to reduce the cost. I think Grok is great by Sunny Madaras, I guess. That's his last name. I don't want to butcher it. Just give me a second. Yeah, Sunny Madara. He's great. He's a GM of Cloud, Grok, and that's gonna end up happening. And so the cost will come down. So my going back to my same thing again, what I'm trying to say is in the AI space, I don't know if you're reading enough or making sure, or maybe you know this, maybe I'm just re like validating your thoughts and what you're thinking. We are seeing a lot of investment. I think a lot of investment will go. There will be a little bit of cool off towards September, maybe October, November, because the election cycle and everything. But I don't think AI companies will have any problem. And if you have a great product, you will still get funded. So that's my take on AI these days. I do feel there are plenty of companies. They're like, we are not a GPT wrapper. We are not GPT this. We are not GPT that. I just have a news for you and a question for you. If GPT goes down today, if GPT stops working, let's say the service goes down, or maybe whatever you're using, Mistral, Claude, whatever, right? Does your product stop servicing? Because my co-founder, he actually told me that. And I was like, wow, that's very interesting. So I'm gonna repeat that thanks to him for this content. And I truly believe he's right. If your product out there doesn't survive without it, yeah, you're fucked. You're literally gonna die because your product is dependent on it. I know there's a company I don't want to name, or not a company, it's a small startup, sorry. And they are totally in a niche of being a GPT for PMs, and that's great. But I think those kind of services will see their day in light in the sun right now for the next 3, 4 years. I do see they might go the other way around, meaning just die. And nothing bad. That's a really great product, but I just want to give an example. Like, I think that's what's going to end up happening. You will see a lot of companies that are using GPT wrappers. And how you define a wrapper, my friend was right, is if your company stops, a product stops working, if GPT is down, voila, it's gone. And so I think that's a real question you want to ask. Do I believe it's smart to invest in foundation models? No. Leave it up to the big dogs out there. So Mistral, Claude, and I'm sorry, Mistral, you have Meta, you have OpenAI, you have Anthropic, you have Throw. There's a really good one, I forgot his name, in India. There's this guy in India, he launched his, let me look, Indian ChatGPT. They actually launched it as a competitor, and it was really good. So, okay, I can't find it, but I found it on LinkedIn. It was on my LinkedIn. Jeez, I can't find it. But in summary, that GPT is pretty cool. Like they had built their own LLM model basically, and I tried it. It was super cool. But you will see those companies who have astounding amount of money, cash to invest, and these companies will figure out to make it cheaper. So if you want to build your own LLM, unless you're a big company or a stage company, you want to have, what do you call stake in the game or something. Sure, do it. Is it profitable? Is it gonna work out for you? No. Should you know how RAGs work, LLM work? Yes. Do you think RAGs will last longer? No, but RAG is, it's gonna stay, it's gonna move on to the next level until the AGI is here. So all in all, my thought set for the whole AI space is there's a lot of funding happening. So that's a really interesting insight. You just have a great product, great market, go after the legacy, and I think there's something good there, what I'm seeing in the market. You can also see a lot of investment. You see a seed size going up to as much as 5, 6, 7, $80 million. Seed. The lowest is 3 million, which was standard. And then you're also seeing pre-seed going to $5 million. So it's a really interesting time to be in starting a company. Also challenge your time as well because the job market really sucks. So I totally understand if you're planning to start a company or whatever you're trying to do, make sure you make your decision wisely. And same for me too. Let's see where my stuff takes me. It's also challenging as well. It's not that I have a big exit behind me. No. So with that being said, this will be today's podcast. I covered three major things. There will be more raw narratives. I'm gonna go that I actually want to call it Joe Rogan style, except the remove the conspiracy part. I like how he's authentic, real conversation. So I would love that. And I love all my guests who came in. They're so amazing. And I would love to bring some of them back as well pretty soon. And so that's one. The second part we talked about is yes, I'm available to help you as a consultant if you need to. Just go to my website, shakeimran.com. This is my last name, first name.com. And feel free to schedule a call. And lastly, but surely, ESPS is booming, so make sure you make sense of it, make use of it. And if not, that's also fine. But happy to help in any case. And anyway, you'll be first one to hear what's going to happen with me, with my startup that I'm doing. And whatever it will be, I don't know where it will go, but I know for one thing for sure, I want to try fast, do it fast, move fast, know it fast. Fast is very key when you're a startup. Well, have a great day, great night, good night, wherever you are. And we'll love to see you folks soon. Well, technically, you would love to see more viewers, more if I could see you. But yeah, when you listen, that's how I know. Thank you.